the first game they switched to it with it, which feels really weird. So we're going to see what happens and what people are, what the players are going to be playing now. But what do you make of this? What would you do if you were Shaxy? Because he appears to have stuck with the counter warrior.
I think he may have jumped the gun a little bit too quickly on the Myers last game. He had the scheme. It was kind of big. That's fine. But I think he might have been able to take it a tiny bit slower, because what he did near the end was just I think he misstepped in not drawing more Togwaggles and getting more crowns right at the end.
Right.
Even though it escalated how quickly he would die to fatigue. You can get a lot of value off of those Togwaggles, but you need to be able to actually make enough waves of threats. And the way he did it was almost perfect until right at the end.
Yeah, there was the turn where he made the crown and not the wand.
Yeah.
And you think, well, if you choose a wand, it's -1 crown. Right, but the wand is like +3 crowns, so you still end up a net positive overall, right? When you draw them, he actually whiffed a few and ended up having to use the monkey early. But this is a fresh game now, and Pathra again off to a decent start with a 1-drop. Can coin into Wrench Caliber with a Militia Commander backup on turn 4 as well. Whereas Shaxy has a little bit of a middling hand, I would say. The scheme racking up is always nice, of course, but there's just like the Life Drinker and the Waggle Pick that are really there. And the sprint, I don't know. I'm not 100% solved on the sprint in the list for me, Language Hacker.
I believe it's there for consistency, to be able to get to that endgame state much more, a larger amount of the time.
Right.
The problem is when you're putting some of these cards in, and they end up clogging your early hands. The explosive starts we see from rogues tend to become a bit less consistent, even though your late game playing might be happening a lot more often. When the warrior is given so much time, like we saw last game, Pathra had 40 plus health near the end, where when Shaxy
before the game really started,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah, it was nuts. The health gain was really nice, and there was no early pressure from Shaxy really whatsoever. No, again, it's something we saw in game number 1, I believe, from Pathra, which is just, I'm playing an Omega Dev, a Chillwind Yeti effectively on the 4, because I'm not going to, presume it's going to get too much value late game.
Against Shaxy's list in particular as well, Pathra knows that if she puts a lot more stuff on board and Shaxy starts taking the damage.
I mean, look at it already.
Yeah.
You suddenly look at the list: Sprint, Scheme, Tog, Nomi. It's like it's high-cost cards for Rogue to be playing. Rogue is not known for its high cost, high curve at all. But in these lists, it seems to get there.
There's no Harrison as well in the list, so Pathra knows that this isn't really a scary thing to throw in the Devastator. Also, no raiding party has been played.
Like, is this almost like Life Drinker swing pass, or he's gonna have to eviscerate and swing? Wow.
Shaxy wants to get to late game. He needs to make sure he doesn't take repetitive damage from this Devastator.
And if he's choosing to swing, you may as well play the Corsair and get it for 0 mana.
Could, yeah. Give some
There's no reason not to, right?
But yeah. Also, having a 0 mana card to activate something later is not bad.
Right.
I mean, look at the rest of his hand. There's not a whole lot you can use to activate a raiding party, right?
For a Myra dump as well,
yep.
Where you just you want to empty hand as quick as possible.
So interesting from Pathra's side, she does have 2 Wrench Calibers, so she could just swing face, get the Corsair to come out from Shaxy, or she could take it a bit more slow, be a bit more patient.
Funnily enough, could you ever is it ever worth playing the Wrench Caliber and not swinging face?
Yeah,
to
you
say,
could do that too.
Well, your Corsair is either stuck in hand, and if you do play it, it doesn't remove the weapon, and also, if you need it to activate something, it has to be played, but I don't mind either way, to be honest. There's 2 Wrench Calibers there, as you said. I think you just want to start chucking bombs at Shaxy.
I think there's not a whole lot you're doing with your mana for the next couple turns. I don't think Shaxy's going to be developing such a large board. I think Pathra can make a read that there's quite a bit of a slow hand from Shaxy's side. So just weaving in the armor instead of equipping the Wrench Caliber. She really needs the weapon next turn. She can equip it with another armor up.
And we did see the armor made a huge difference last game as well.
Yep.
Excuse me if you heard that. So the Dynomatic can clear off this Life Drinker pretty easily. Doesn't quite fit as nicely with the hero power as well. So maybe Wrench Caliber is just fine with hero power, as you said. Protects the 1/3 as well.
I think with the second Dynomatic pickup, I'd like to see the first one come down just for more pressure. I mean, Pathra saw Shaxy eviscerate an Omega Devastator. There's not... I mean, clearly Shaxy's struggling at A, developing a board, and B, being able to deal with anything that Pathra develops. She opts for the Wrench Caliber hero power, which is fine as well.
I think this is one where we've just... It's not so much about this turn, but it's about using the mana that's in your hand over multiple turns. So using Wrench Caliber now means that the second one can be equipped sooner and start just getting rid of that mana from the hand. And Dynamatics can be such high-valued late game. Like, they kill some insane minions. Like, they'll kill a Tog, for example. And that's a really, really powerful swing late game. And there's the spread.
Kaboom.
And there we go. Bloodsail Corsair at 0 mana. It did mean he could play it with a sprint, but it didn't do anything else. Wrench Caliber again.
Shaxy also isn't running Ziliax, so the only form of life gain is Life Drinker.
Also him, Militia Commander plus Wrench Caliber. Just Commander the 1-2 just to get it on the board. Like you said, develop more minions. Wrench Caliber face again. And the more that Shaxy's drawing is, the more likely these bombs are going to start hitting very quick.
Yeah.
Looks good to me, at least.
I think Dynamatic now feels a bit weaker.
And also you can Wrench Caliber, right?
Yeah.
So you can just coin Wrench Caliber with the Militia Commander. I don't think you really need to hold on to coin for that much longer.
Yeah.
Not with this hand, anyway. You can play it all very, very nicely.
I think squeezing it in now is a good idea. Like with all the cards drawn from Shaxy, it's much more likely he has a playable turn.
Right.
So saving the Dynamatic to deal with something a bit later might...
And also as well, like coin 8 to 9 doesn't really change much in the deck. Overall, it's not like a power turn, right? It's not like you're coining on turn 6 into 7 to play Boom. Like those days are past now.
Yeah.
So I do like this overall. Shaxy has approximately 1 billion cards in hand. And now a Van Cleave. So he can make one rather large gentleman there. But not even in a particularly efficient way. Ooh. Next turn. So Shaxy could play the Miscreant along with the Corsair.
Yep.
And just do it and say, well, this turn's going to suck, but I will gain something to be able to, say, play the Togwaggle the turn after, maybe. But this is honestly a little bit scary for Shaxy. He's on 16 health and being pressured on board.
Prep of this. Alright. This is
Good for Pathra, if anything. The prep of this means that Dynamatic's just even better.
Yep.
Because it just straight up kills the Harrison easily.
Which is interesting why Shaxy's considering
This
using it on the Rover.
Yeah.
Also plays around Ziliax, pushing a bit of extra damage if it gets magnetized.
Nice play, actually, from Shaxy there. I was going to say, if he actually evists the Militia Commander, Patra's probably happy with that outcome. Not even just okay with it, but happy.
Warpath never going to end up clearing here. Not a great way to deal with this. I'm not sure if you want to brawl this too much either, but maybe you have to. You could Militia Commander double Warpath and use the other one on the board to kill the Edwin, but that feels like awful.
I was thinking of Militia Commander into the 5-4, just kill it off and just let them have an 8-8.
Yeah.
Because you've got so much health, you can always brawl later, and Shaxy can't realistically expect to ride this game on just one 8-8, just repeatedly hitting face, right?
Also, if you've seen 2 Eviscerates, it's not going to be easy to deal with the 2-4. And the 2-4 is not threatening, but at 16 health, a couple of swings, a boom.
Yeah, exactly. Or there's always the do this, brawl, and then try in Militia Commander the Harrison if it lives, but that's just kind of feels a little bit weaker to me overall.
Pathra choosing to use a Warpath here.
Setting up for a Dynamatic next turn.
No?
Or a Militia Commander, depending on, you know, what Shaxy does.
But I definitely like pushing damage face. Probably time to get the Miscreant down. Scheme should be shuffling, I believe, 9 or 10 at this point. At the end of this turn, I believe it'll be 10.
Evolves, not too fantastic right now. Always nice for the miscreant himself.
Yep.
But in general, not the most powerful outcome he could have got here. Not really
I
close.
think you might want to hold on to them this time. Oh.
Ooh.
I was going to say maybe you want to hold on to them if you're going for the same game plan where you can kind of spread out the lackeys over a couple turns with the Togwaggles you're shuffling in. If that's the game plan he's going for. Maybe he wants to be a bit more aggressive.
There's a shake of the head from Shaxy. I think he was considering it, but I feel like evolving a 2-1 feels like a bit of a waste.
Yeah.
Or evolving a 1-drop, should I say.
I like it better on the Stret Corsair. And this lets you replay the Edwin. This is good.
Also, still not too bad for Pathra, because this wide board just says, hello, Mr. Brawl.
Right.
So, you know, there was basically, Pathra set up a win-win scenario where if there weren't that many minions played and the Van Cleef wasn't bounced, then she could kill it. And if there were that many minions played, then she just presses Brawl, sees what happens, and hopes Van Cleef doesn't.
Oh no. This was disastrous.
Okay, well that wasn't part of the plan.
Yeah, no, that was not part of the plan at all.
So, armor up next turn, Omega Assembly into Devastator?
Yeah. You could play out the commander. This lets her draw an execute, or if she does discover a Devastator or find another one from her deck, she can play it and actually kill off the Edwin this way. So taking the 12 is definitely going to be quite a big hit, but it doesn't mean she's out just yet.
Funnily enough, I think this is when you can go with Tog, right? There's been so much committed into this Van Cleef that I would have thought just getting Tog in there is worth it, but maybe Shaxy feels he has to wait for the Myras to be able to empty the deck and guarantee the draws.
Well, I mean, you'd have to play the Togwaggle without the lackey because I don't know if she wants, or if Shaxy wants to actually evolve the Edwin, because that's the only lackey he had in hand at the time. So to activate the Togwaggle, I don't know if he wants to give up on the Edwin. But even just playing a naked Togwaggle and going to scheme wouldn't have been terrible. But I think you might dilute your draws too much at that point. Drawing 6 mana 5/5s. Actually, at this point, it might not even be bad.
Yeah, I mean, it's not terrible. You kind of just want to end the game, right? And now there can be Omega Devastator to check. Sorry, Omega Assembly to check. And then if you whiff, you can boom Warpath and cross your fingers.
Yeah.
Because I don't see anything else.
I think as Pathra, you just want to be seeing exactly Omega Devastator Ziliax from this assembly.
Oh, to be fair, the Dynamat, if you get Omega Devastator, Dynamatic clears up afterwards, right?
Yeah.
Or at least helps. It won't clear the board.
I think his double Dynamatic here is super unlikely to clear the Edwin.
Yeah. I think you have to do this. See what happens.
Okay.
That's so big. You always get a Devastator. It's just true.
Could consider Hecklebotting, but that could be very dangerous. She has to consider if she wants to Dynamact and...
Hecklebot might be fine, right? What are the big minions?
Leroy? Togwaggle? Nomi?
Yeah. Oh my god, it's Leroy. Oh wow. Well, Nomi's in Nomi and Tog. I guess, yeah.
This is lethal. If Shaxy sees it, he can play either Nomi or the... Yeah. So, rushing the Nomi... If he rushes the Nomi into the 3... Uh-oh. I think this was a mislethal. If you rush the Nomi into the 3 with your dagger, you have 13 damage on board. Right? You play Chef Nomi from hand.
Yeah.
Double tap, double pay. This might still be fine.
Yeah, I mean, that looks good to me. Is this getting through anyway?
Yeah, this gets through too, but this wasn't guaranteed.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, the Hecklebot looked like it was going to save the day along with the Devastator, but it was not meant to be, and Shaxy takes the win.